All right, hello, welcome to part 3. It turns out I was really fried last night. I was cooked, and I'm noticing something in myself that I'm actually not very good at articulating all the things that go on in my head, or especially this topic. I'm a little uninformed, or I think that really came through of like, I'm kind of all over the place because I thought I had enough time to finish the video, and then my wife was out at a party and she got back, and so in the video I end it pretty abruptly because I'm like, oh, you're home, and I was like, oh, fetch, like that was a lot of I wasted a lot of time. So let's finish it off. We were on the last existential fear of meaninglessness. Also, free advertising for my work. My opinions and views are my own. They're not associated with Mosquito Squad. But if you're looking for a great mosquito service, go with Mosquito Squad. Not a sponsor. Okay. So I was talking about absurdism by, it's either Albert or Alexander Camus. I think it's Albert. I don't know. Maybe it's Alexander. So the idea is that everything's absurd. You get to a point in reality where if you've deconstructed enough, life can seem kind of pointless, or it's just overly ridiculous, or like, oh my gosh, like there's so much out of your control. I know a lot of people can feel overwhelmed with like global warming and politics and global wars. And a lot of it is just like, whoa, like, okay. And then on top of that, just like some other absurd things that kind of throw wrenches into people's futures and scares them is, we have AI, we have shaky political figures, we have inflation, pending stock market crashes, an increasingly polarizing society. So I guess the whole point is there's some value in recognizing that life is crazy, and rather than letting that kind of take you down or weigh on you, you instead approach life and say, hey, you know what? Life is just freaking crazy. So I'm going to make the most of this really weird circumstance that I happen to be here. And this is from the perspective of deconstructing even, like how we got here, right? So it's like, it's insane just following the narrative of like the creation of the universe and the creation of life and the evolutionary process over millions and millions of years, and how we just so happen to be here, and we just so happen to have the cognitive revolution which led us to where we're at. So anyways, absurdism, that's part of it, what can lead people to, or part of the worldview. But I think more accurately is absurdism is just not, it's kind of like nothing matters. It's like, you know what, like I can just be me. I truly don't care. Like I'm just here in existence, and like I can just be me, and like I don't care what other people think of me. And it can be so absurd to the point where it's like I don't even really care about the consequences, right? Like I think true absurdism is that, which I'm not advocating for, but what I'm saying is you can approach life from this perspective of life is just crazy. Just be here and enjoy it while the craziness happens, because it's just a rare opportunity that you're in the middle of it. There's also optimistic nihilism, which is an approach people take to meaninglessness, which is like, there's like the whole like crisis after you lose your faith, where it's like nothing matters. I have no values. Everything's pointless and meaningless. And that can sound very dark and heavy. Or you can just like, nothing matters. Like the optimistic, like, hey, end of the day, dude, nothing matters. Don't beat yourself up about it. Like you're just here to make the most of your life, to try and, work things out for yourself. And, you shouldn't, and it's hard because it's like, it's just a different way of dealing with nihilism. And I personally don't sit here, but I'm just bringing it up because I think it's part of the topic. But like, yeah, optimistic nihilism, like nothing matters. Cool. Like, let me go have fun. Let me go do this. Nothing matters. So I might as well go do the thing. Like, okay. Now this is getting more into my perspective, but I believe that there's programmed in meaning through the evolutionary process into human beings. So I think there's a couple things that give meaning to your life, even if you've deconstructed a lot, that no matter how hard you fight it, these things will give you meaning. And you will feel better emotionally and mentally, even if it's not like rational or logical. So we have like family. Family is a huge source of meaning. Like when you have a kid, I mean, you can break it down logically however you want, but you're going to feel a certain way towards that kid. And you're going to feel a sense of responsibility and meaning. There's also programmed in meaning of like the tribe you belong to or the culture you belong to. There's programmed in meaning of, I mean, I think I'd be willing to say this, but like, it was a couple years ago, my dad wanted to like put this soil all around the house, this dirt, and I just shoveled dirt and worked with him for like 4 to 6 hours a day, every day for like 5 days. Maybe it was only 3 days. And just shoveling dirt and working and being outside and being physical just feels good. So I think being out in nature, being physical, doing that work, being of service, all of those, and it can be simple, shoveling dirt around my house. But like part of that is just in you. It's in your physiology. It's in your brain. Those things are going to feel good to you. They're going to give you meaning. Even if you can't articulate it, they're going to make you feel better. So I think there's that. There's also one way you can operate in life is, you know what, I might have deconstructed meaning, or I might have deconstructed a lot of my values, but the people around me still hold these values or still hold meaning. And I can respect that, and I can choose to help those people. So I guess one thing is like, there's no point in life. Why am I doing anything? Because other people see a point and meaning in life, and you can help that. Like that's one way of approaching it as well. So lastly, I think of me. I just wrote down me. What am I? Kind of, how do I kind of approach the meaning problem? What's meaningful to me? I think I find a lot of meaning in just figuring it out. I think that while I understand and actually agree with like a lot of these concepts, and like if you really back me in a corner and we debate about it, it's like, yeah, honestly, like life could be, we could zoom out enough, we could scope out enough, life could be meaningless. But I think that I find a lot of personal meaning in personal relationships and helping other people progress. I find a lot of meaning in knowledge and understanding the world around me, the people around me, the religion I grew up in, the way that people think. So just part of the pursuit of knowledge and growing that way, learning more, gives me a lot of meaning. And yeah, there's something about very close relationships where you can just be very honest, that they provide so much rich meaning into your life. So there is a book that I'll probably read and make some videos on, Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. Probably read that. Yeah, just ending thoughts. I think I really nailed the first part of this series, where I overviewed how Mormonism answers these 4 existential fears. And I think it does it, very succinctly and well. And then obviously there's problems when you deconstruct Mormonism. I think this has just shown me that there's a huge space still left for me to learn more and better articulate and work out my thoughts and feelings on these issues. And I think that's what this 3-part series has done for me. So that's been eye-opening and good. I think there's 2 series I plan on making here. One is I'm going to go through the Light and Truth letter and I'll be reacting to it, but also giving my answers and thoughts and responses to a lot of it. And when it comes to, when it comes to not these kind of abstract ideas and thoughts and philosophy that I'm just now getting into, but when it comes to Mormon theology and Mormonism, I think I'm very well equipped and very knowledgeable to be able to provide accurate commentary and actually succinct and fulfilling commentary. So that's one series. We'll be going through that. I imagine it'll probably be a 5 or 6 part series. I'm going to go for an hour at a time, just work my way through it. And I think it'll probably end up taking me 6 hours. And then another one is just the same thing, but there's a couple other ideas just with various podcasts that I'd like to break down. my dad sent me a podcast and asked me to listen to it, and so I think I'll listen to that and react to it and make a video on it. And that's just a very human response of, you know, wanting to control and help and fix the situation. And anyways, so, and yeah, how I'm handling it, and I guess my advice to people who leave, I'm handling it very slowly. I mean, I just go watch the Gift of a Mormon Faith Crisis podcast series by John DeLynn. But what I am choosing to do, because I don't want to have constant arguments and be sent talks and podcasts all the time, but I think a personal rule of mine is I'm going to give everyone one podcast. I'm going to give everyone one request that I will respond to and act on in good faith, and then I'm done. So whether that's this one podcast from my dad or one request I still need to fulfill, and I'll probably do some videos on, is reading the Book of Mormon all the way through in a very short period of time is the specific qualification that I was asked to do. So anyways, that's it. Thank you for watching. I guess this is just for myself. I don't know. Thanks me for making this. It was cool to figure out my thoughts. So